You're here with Greg and Lori Swearingen with ERA Real Solutions and the Selling Columbus team. If you're in the market to buy a house or you're looking to list a house, we would love to help you out. You can go to realtyresourceradio.com and get our information.
We have with us an expert in title insurance. His experience goes deep. He is a graduate of Hondros College and has been working in the mortgage arena since 1999. He's been a closing agent at the table, explaining all that paperwork you have to sign when you buy or sell real estate. He's been a senior loan officer, helping people obtain the loan they need. Now he is the Vice President of Operations at Elite Land Title, a company we love personally because they provide exceptional value at a great price. He is the Central Ohio expert in title insurance and mortgage closing. Welcome, Robert Corwin.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Robert, one of my big questions that I want to explain to people, because I get asked all the time, what is title insurance? Do I really have to have it? Why should I have it?
Well, title insurance covers the biggest investment of your life. Usually when people buy a home, it's their biggest investment. Title insurance helps against defects in title, maybe from 40 years ago that you may not know about. In other words, maybe a mismortgage judgment, lien on the property that was filed by an individual that was never paid 20, 30 years ago.
Wow.
And this was law. So what happens is we do a search. We go back 42 years at the county.
Wow,
So
that's pretty far. Does all title companies do that, or is
we
that?
do. Well, I can't speak for all title companies, but they should. You know, we go back at least 42 years on a purchase, and we go back 2 owners on every refinance that we do to make sure that
Nice.
we're searching the property to make sure that you get what you think you're buying. You know, you're not getting anybody else's problems.
On a refinance, I had no idea that you did title insurance on a refinance.
We do.
I see it all the time on on the major home purchase.
Right, yeah. All lenders want a lender's policy. Even on a purchase transaction, you'll see a $100 title insurance fee because it's a combo insurance policy. So the seller usually pays, in Franklin County, usually pays for the title insurance, which gives the owner the protection. For an extra $100 that the buyer pays for, the lender gets a policy to protect their interest in the property.
Now, is that customary that the seller usually pays for that, or can that be negotiated?
It is negotiated. It's all in contractual issues but it is standard in the Franklin County Board of Realtors contracts.
Yeah, I've seen that there's different types of title insurance as well.
There is. Like I said, there's a lender's policy, there's an owner's policy, and now there's a homeowner's policy, which covers a little bit more. The premium's a little bit more, but it covers a little bit more, gives you a little bit better coverage.
How do you know what one to get?
Once again, the Board of Realtors
They put
contract,
Alta, right?
yes, it's an Alta homeowner's policy, which is the better policy.
Okay.
The homeowners, you
The
say.
homeowners, that's correct.
If you're doing a new build, I don't know that the builders are always paying for that title insurance. So I was just curious, would it be possible that the builder is not doing the best as far as like paying his bills? He sells you a house, and then someone puts a lien on the house that the builder just sold you, and now suddenly you owe like the plumber.
Like a mechanic.
Right.
Is
It's
that
mechanics
possible?
lien, that's
I mean, that
correct.
can
It is
happen?
possible. It is possible. And what we do is we try to, have all the documentation signed by the builder to make sure that he's paid everything. We do a seller's affidavit that states there hasn't been any liens or judgments or any bills that haven't been paid in the last 60 days on the property. So there are some protections there, but your title insurance would cover that. If there was something filed from the time that we did our search until the time we closed the loan, that's that $50 binder fee you see on the settlement statement. That covers the time from we did our search to the time that we actually filed the deed. So that would actually be covered in the title insurance.
So it's pretty important to have insurance, I would say, title insurance.
Absolutely.
I know some people don't think they need it, and I'm like,
Once again, it's the biggest purchase of your life, and it's a little bit to no money to be able to protect yourself from anything that could have happened 42 years ago.
What happens if there is a lien? Like, let's say I'm buying a property and you say, oh, there's a lien on this property you're trying to buy. Well, should I run from it, or is it
No,
something?
I wouldn't say run from it. It's what you come to your title company, or when we do our search, we're going to say, hey, Lori, there's a lien on this property. We need to find out whose it is. Usually, if all the prior title companies did their job, maybe it's something that just didn't get released that has been paid. So what we'll do is we will call the other title company that handled the last closing and say, hey, why did you clear this? And we just start doing research. 99% of the time they've been paid and just never released. Or sometimes we'll find out that, hey, it is a prior owner, what we call a prior owner judgment or lien, mechanic's lien, and then we just got at that point figure out, okay, who's responsible for paying it.
Sure.
It would be a claim if the prior owner had title insurance. We just could keep going back. Title's kind of like dominoes. You know, you remove one, you replace one. You remove one,
Sure.
you replace one. So there's always ways to go back and trace what we need to get payoffs and make sure that gets cleared.
So maybe I bought insurance with Elite Land Title, but two owners ago, there was a lien that did not get paid off. You actually would go to the insurance company like back a couple loans ago?
That is correct. We do that all the
and
time.
then they would be responsible to pay it because
Yes.
they're the ones that had the insurance at that time.
That's correct. Or you know, sometimes we'll get a closing statement that shows, hey, we paid it, but maybe that, you know, ABC company didn't pay or file a release to release it at the courthouse. You know, we're only as good as the information that's recorded at the courthouse of record.
How long does it take to how long does this take normally to work through?
It just depends. Sometimes, you know, it could be a 24-hour thing. Sometimes it could be a 5-day. But I would think on the higher end, you know, we should be able to get anything done within a week.
Now, what happens if I had a situation recently where one of my clients, in fact, we closed with you, had a tax lien on their property? How do they handle it? How does someone get rid of that? Do they have to pay the government, or can it be
That is
paid out of
correct.
their proceeds? Or?
What we do is we put it on the closing statement. So we actually had the seller in this sign a authorization.
Okay.
We send it to I don't know if it was the state of Ohio or the IRS, and they actually send us a payoff, and then we make sure we don't leave it up to the client to pay it off. We actually pay it out of the proceeds, and then we disperse it, make sure that everything gets filed, and that the release gets filed, so the new customer, when they go to sell or refinance, it doesn't come up.
So you're handling all the paperwork to make sure it does indeed get done
That
and
is
it's
correct.
cleared and everything's good with the title.
That is correct.
Does the buyer need to know that ever was an issue if the seller has a tax lien or something? Or, I mean, isn't that confidential?
It is confidential. We do the best not to let the buyers and sellers see each other's sides of the closing statement
Sure.
because it is personal. It doesn't matter as long as I'm paying it off and I'm giving the buyer free
A
and clear
clean-
title.
yeah.
You know that is we're even on there.
Okay.
Now there are some new legislations coming down to where you know 15 days before closing that we need a title commitment. A title commitment is going to show all the liens and judgments that are on the property. It also says, hey, we're going to make sure these get paid off so we can issue free title as well.
Okay. Well, one of the things that cracks me up, not cracks me up, but is the lovely fee at the closing table that you have to insure people against yourself.
Yes, the closing protection coverage.
Everyone laughs about that one.
Yeah, well,
Okay, what is this insurance?
What is that
They ask
exactly?
every time.
So the public can know, because if you're looking to buy or sell a home, I mean, you're going to get asked this question from your realtor,
Yes.
and everyone always looks at me and says, "What should I say?"
Yeah, so closing protection coverage is an extra insurance that a buyer, seller, or lender purchases to if Elite Land Title would mishandle any funds in the transaction. I always make a joke, if I take your money and run off to the Bahamas tonight, my underwriter, it's an extra insurance on my underwriter, Chicago Title or Westcore Title, would make that person whole.
But you know, you could run off with their $20 check too.
That is correct. You know, we also, you know, so I'm going to say 99% of the people decline the coverage.
Right.
But it is the state put it in place because we had a title company and a lender a few years back in Central Ohio that the husband owned a mortgage company and the wife owned a title company, and they started day trading funds.
Oh boy.
So what happened is they lost a bunch of money out of their escrow account. Well, people got stuck with 2 mortgages.
Oh,
Let's say
ouch.
you refinanced, the title company never paid your mortgage off, I embezzled your money, you now have 2 mortgages that you had to pay for.
What happened to those people? Did they have to?
They're in prison.
Okay, good.
So, you know, unfortunately, you
That
know,
is just wrong.
So the state came
That
up
is
with this
wrong.
idea, and all lenders take the coverage. So, you know, it's a part of the lender policy. Lender, it's $35 coverage, and all lenders take it. So every borrower gets charged regardless.
Okay. Well, if people want to reach you, what is the best way for them to get a hold of the title company?
You can reach us at www.elite-landtitle.com or call me at our office at 614-568-0033.
We're going to be back in just a minute speaking with Robert again about all those fees you have to pay at the closing table. Stay tuned.